Hey everyone, hope we are all doing awesome and doing great. All right, so today we are going to go deeply into um, creating a similar marketplace to Upwork. And I'm not going to go into all the different functionalities, but what I plan to do is just create this repeating group of, um, you know, basically this repeating group of content, and then just creating like the header and and that's all. And then this filtering system, we could work on it and just see how we can use that to manipulate what we are seeing here, right? And all of that. So it's going to be like a 3 to 4, 5 part series. So I hope you enjoy it. And let's get started. So let's start with the header here. Let's create something like this. So first of all, this is the database. I have my branding information here, and then I have the job application. So this is when somebody sends an application, it creates a job application, and that application could be accepted, and it would have a body, it would have a specified budget, it would have a budget pay, whether it's fixed or hourly rate. It would have it will be linked to a job offer, which is created by the client, and it would show if this was accepted, and it will show the status. And then for job offers, it's basically like the job description where you have the rate, you have the type, description, hours, kickoff, and then status, things like that. So, and then you have basic information about the user, which is their company name, the first name, last name, photo, profile, image. So I think that's basically what you also have with profile on Upwork. So let's get into it. I'm going to create a new page and just call this work dummy. And I'm going to be creating from scratch. Okay. So once we have that, I like to reduce my zoom to 80% because I like to create my pages on 1280. And I can just leave this at 900. And what I can do is I can have this be it's going to be a column. So it's going to stack on top of each other, right? So I just call this work marketplace. And so first thing we have here is this group on top. So I'm just going to quickly create that here. So first I'm going to need a reusable element, and I'm going to call this reusable element. Excuse me, I didn't use reusable element. I'm going to call this header, and this is just going to float on top. So this is going to be a row because it's going to stack from left to right, so it's in a row, and it's going to be 1280 pixels. You got it. And the height I can leave at 200 for now. And I can just give it a padding of 20 pixels round. Right. Because you can see it has a bit of, so maybe 20 to the left, 20 to the right, 10 on top, 10 underneath. Okay. All right. Maybe we make this 100 just so that it's a bit snug. Okay. So the first thing we have is the logo. So I'm just going to take an image and paste that there. And then what I can have this be is 200 by 50 pixels. I'm going to center align it. And in my data, I already have logo branding, which if I go to my app data and okay, I don't have a logo. So I'm going to create a new logo here. I'm just going to upload a logo from my database. Do I have a logo? No, I don't. Thought I should have one. Okay, let's use this. Let's use this as a logo. I was kind of hoping that I would have something a bit flat rather than this. So I'm just going to go ahead and download the logo from online and use that. Okay, so let's quickly do that now. Okay, so we're back and I've got a logo which I can use. And I'm going to go with this one and I'm going to create that and got it. So once we are here, I'm going to integrate this logo. So I'm just going to search for brand, do a search for branding items. I want it to be the first item that you see. First item is logo. I'm also going to process this. The reason we do processing for this, click more, is so that it fits perfectly. So it's to fit dimensions, stretch, and you want to make this, yeah, that's okay. So the logo is going to appear there, fitted properly. You know, another thing I'm going to do is I am going to apply gap spacing between the rows, between the columns of 20 pixels, so that there's just a bit of you know gap between here and there. Okay, so once we have done that, next thing is to find talent, find work, and all of that. So with that, I'm going to get a text element. Just going to paste it there, and I'm going to call this find talent. And I think I'm gonna go with Intel for my, yeah, I think the Intel looks good. And I'll just go with 500 pixels, and I think there should be 18. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, 18 is fine. Well, Intel 18 pixels, one spacing 1.5. Then make this element fixed with no. Take that out. Take the minimum height, and then fit with the content. Yes, and then center align it. Just doing a bit of, I'm going to take an icon, and this is just going to be a 15 by 15 pixels icon. It's just going to be a small icon. Then it's not going to have any padding. Good. No padding. It's going to be center aligned. And then I'm going to look for down. And if it's down first, and I'm going to make it black. Let's just go with threes. Yeah, so I have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to group these two elements in a group. So you want to copy them together and group elements in a row group so that they can be stacked within each other. And I'm going to call this group find element. And I am going to apply a gap spacing of 10 pixels so that there's just a bit of space. And I will make this element fixed with. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to remove the fit with content here, and I'm going to, okay, so we have a problem here. Fit with the content, and fit with the content. Yeah, okay. I wonder what happened there. Okay, so now I'm just going to copy and paste this. And here, I'm going to call this group find work. I'm going to change this to find work. Because you have to find work, find work. You have to find work. So here I'm going to make this a bit bolder. It's looking to. Okay, so I've got find talent, find work, why Upwork. So instead of saying why Upwork, you can just, and then you have enterprise. So I'm just gonna copy and paste. So why Upwork and then enterprise. So I'm gonna call this why us. Close this, and then enterprise. So enterprise, I'm just gonna delete this and call this enterprise. And you have this nice search button, search bar, and you can integrate it whether you want to search for talent, or you want to search for projects, you want to search for jobs. But I'm not going to put this, I'm just going to put the search bar because that might be too much headache right now. So let's just have the search bar. So let's go and press search box. Oh, oops. And I'm also going to get an icon, copy this, and paste this here. Okay, so I'm going to look for the search. I'm going to make this 30 by 30. It's too big. It's too big. And 20 pixels. If I make this gray, and then see how it looks. Then I can just push this forward, move this down, and push it next. I can make this 200 pixels. I make this 50 pixels. It's okay. So let's copy the two together. Put element in a row container. You already got it. Apply element gap spacing. Make this 10 pixels. And then fit width to element content. But then I want to do something. I want to add a bit of padding of 5 on top, 5 underneath, 10 to the left, 10 to the right, maybe 20 to the left and 20 to the right. And then I wanted to make the roundness of this 40 pixels. And I want to give it a solid border of EB, EB, EB. And last thing I want to remove is this. I don't want it to have. Let's just make this enter. I'm gonna remove the placeholder. And then I'm going to remove the border. Okay, so there we have a nice search bar. I can just put, for the placeholder, I can just put search. Search. There we go. Maybe I remove, the pattern to the left and to the right. So that's a bit closer. And there we have it. It looks really good. And lastly, I want to just put this login and sign up functionality. So I'm just going to take it from enterprise here and paste it here. And that would be login. And lastly, I'm just going to copy and paste this, and this would be sign up. And I have determined I want to use the color. Let's try orange, goldish orange as our main color. Because I don't think I've used that before. So first of all, I'm going to add a padding to this. I'm just going to give it a padding of 10 all around. And then to the left and right, I'm going to give it 20, 20. Then I'm going to make the roundness of this 40 pixels. And then solid border of, should I give it a solid border? Hmm, let's give it this yellow first. And color, I'm going to make it white. And I come back to that. And then the background style, I'm going to give it the color. This. And remove the border. Okay. I think it looks good. So we have the find talent, we have find work, we have buy us, we have this. So once this is hovered, once this group is hovered, I want to ensure that this turns to the yellow and this goes up. Alright, so let's do that. So name of the group is group find talent. So I'm just going to create a condition that says when group find talent is hovered, I'm going to copy this expression and I am going to say the font color is going to change to this. So let me just see how that looks good. And then I'm going to copy that expression and say the same thing when the group find talent is hovered. I want you to change this icon to up. There we go. So, and I will do the same thing here. This group find work. Then group find. So instead of find talent, but you know what? Instead of doing this, I'm just gonna copy this expression, paste this expression. Instead of find talent, I'm going to say group find work. And then I'm also going to copy this expression. I'm going to paste this expression. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Just paste the expressions. But this should be group find group bios. Okay. And then we do the same thing for here. Copy conditional expressions. Oops. Copy it here. Paste conditional expressions. Group find group bias. Okay. And then do the same thing for here. Copy conditional expressions. And this group, so I'm just going to say when this text is over, instead of when group, when this text is covered, change the font color to this. Okay. And I think, so this gets a little lighter when hovered. So I'm just going to say when this text is covered, change the background color to Can you select a lighter version of it? So, then I'm just gonna also create an outset shadow. So, outset spread radius. Take this one. Yeah, so that's just looking a bit nicer. You can also change the color of what's inside here as well. So I can just, you know, I can just change the color when this is covered. Yeah. So it has a standard, right, which I think is okay. So what we can do is we can then go back to the, to the page, and then we can look for the reusable elements that we have available, which is the header, and we can just paste it here, and we can define it to be, we can define the height to be 100 pixels, which is okay. It hides the content 100 pixels. So, um, so this is, yeah, header is okay. So when we preview this page, we're able to see how it looks. Okay, it's looking a bit big. So I think I just want to um, make this on a fixed height. And then let me try 70 pixels. No, 80 pixels. No, 90 pixels. So we have 50, 50. Okay, so let's try 19. Okay, so I'm just going to remove the debug because it's not center aligned, and I don't know why. So I'm going to go back to the reusable elements. Okay, so let's do it this way. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so now it's looking more like it. So you've got this. So once this is hovered, it it shows that. Once this is hovered, it shows that. Once this is hovered, it shows that. So just the same way. And you could also have this group focus come out. You can have that group come out. You can have this group come, or you can do it that when it's clicked, you know, it brings out that, right? So you have that hovered, enterprise hovered, and sign up. You have this box shadow that just makes it look good. And you have to log in. So I think the image is a bit too big, so it's extending the size. So you can do some work there to make it smaller. And let's make this element fixed height. Let's see how it looks now. Yeah, it's looking a bit slug now. So the last thing I want to do is I want to um, I want to independently define the border, and I want this to be a solid, none for the bottom. I want this to be a solid, and I want this to be EB. So the idea is that I want there, just like you have in Upwork, you have this nice line of border underneath. I want the same thing here. Yeah, so you have that line that just, you know, goes under. So that's it. That's basically the header. So we're going to go ahead to create the group functionalities and other things like that in the upcoming videos. But you have an idea of how All these things are developed within Bubble itself. So see you in the next video. Take care.